Hey, it's Mars, and this is Let's Make a Dungeon Crawler Part 6A. Before we get started making potions for our inventory, there's a few things I'd like to set up first. So let's hit play, and on the bottom right, I'll go full screen on this, maximize on play, and I'll pause and unpause. So on the bottom right of our screen, we've got a bag button and a character sheet button, and then if we hit the X, they go away. We can't click the button twice to open and close though, we have to click the X. Also, if we look at the bag, it's empty, there's no inventory slots. So to fix that we need to go to plyGame, item, and change it from weight to slots. So now if I hit play, our bag should have slots in it. Perfect. Now, I would like these to open, the bag and the character sheet, when I hit the I key on my keyboard. So to set that up, let's go to our player and give him a plyblocks component. And we would do common on update, flow if, input key goes down, and we would say if I goes down, and now we need to check if it's open or not. So we would do if active. Let's do if A equals B. We're checking if it's not open yet. So we would do a common, we could do a get property block, and I'll type it in here, active, all lowercase. And now we need to find the bag and the character sheet. So we could use the object find by name, and then it would search the hierarchy for the bag, and then we could check if it's active. But I'd rather have it saved as a game object variable. So I'm going to save my scene and move over to our RPG UI scene. And let's take a look at the character sheet and bag. I'll open them with Alt-Shift-A. And I'd like them to be connected. So I'm going to put the character sheet on top and the bag right below it. And we'll make it look pretty in a future episode, but for right now, this will be okay. And then I'm going to put the bag as a child of the character sheet, just so that they move as one. And let's take a look at our RPG UI game object, our canvas. It already has a plyblocks component. This is where we said don't destroy unload. Let's also set the canvas to a global game object, meaning we can reference it from any scene by using the global game object block. So if we click on the settings button up top, let's go to game object, and we'll create a global game object variable called canvas. Now we want to set our canvas to this global game object variable. So I'll go to, this is our canvas, plyblocks, on start, let's set global value named canvas to self. So that's in common, self game object. Perfect. So now if we ever use the global variable canvas, that will be referencing this game object here. So now we'd also like to get to the character sheet. I want to be able to turn that off and on when I hit the I key. So we could, let's do a local game object this time, and I'll call it inventory. And then since it's a child of its parent, we can just drag character sheet in to the global game object. So now in our code we would do if I goes down, we want to enable the inventory game object, which is our character sheet, in our global canvas game object, which we just set. So let's go back to level 1. In the player's plyblocks, let's say if getActive from inventory, that's a local variable, and the local game object variable inventory is saved in the plyblocks. So we'll go to common as plyblocks, and it's saved in the plyblocks of the canvas global game object. Canvas. So if I goes down, and if active from the inventory game object, which is saved in the plyblocks of the canvas game object, equals, and let's do a common boolean of false. Now we want to turn on the bag and our character sheet. So I'll go to GUI, and there's already blocks made for us. Show character sheet, show bag. Then else, if they're already turned on, if active equals true, so let's grab an else block, and I'll copy and paste these down. We want to hide our bag, hide our character sheet. So let's see if this works. Perfect. Now before we make our potion, let's also go to our player's plyblocks, and we'll add 3 events. Let's go to RPG item, and we'll do on add item to bag, RPG item remove from bag, RPG item use from bag. So if we add, remove, or use an item from our bag and the bag is open, we want it to refresh so that we can see the changes. So let's go to GUI and we'll do refresh bag UI. And I'll copy and paste that into this event and into this event. That's all for this one. Our inventory is now ready to handle items. Thank you so much for watching, and if you learned something, hit that like button. Join me next time where we will be making our health potions.